you have ways to make sure that you keep a short leash with the elected positions?
Thank you very much. I'm going to turn to a question that was submitted from the audience, or from registered guests before. This one reads, how do you see the future of free speech and censorship in Thailand over the next few years? From what you're describing, it doesn't sound very optimistic, but you seem to be an optimistic person, so I'd love to hear how you negotiate that. And together with that, this is continuing the question, together with that, what is the utility of transparency as a tool for social mobilization and secrecy as a weapon in political fights?
So, okay, one thing at a time. The first question on freedom of speech in Thailand. What we were trying to do, I think the question probably spans on many things, but they will probably ask you the elephant in the room, which is the criminal code on this. The only reason why we want to amend it inside the parliament is that parliament in French is a place for you to speak. And it cannot be monopolized. It has code of conduct. It's being televised all over the country. So we wanted to use maturity and transparency. So that's something that is very hard. My intention, again, is to reform Thailand while preserving democracy. But freedom of the speech outside of Thailand on the streets is one picture back in the days. It's just not a consensus building place with people who have come before me and people who are coming after me. People who have come before me probably wanted to take it as far as possible to the good old days. Many, if you look on the social media, on the streets, when we're talking about after monarchy, that are people who are older than me. There are younger people than me, I understand, if they're 15 or 14, they don't share the same sentiment. It's an inconvenient truth in any society that they wrote on the streets or they take it to Twitter that they want to see Thailand become for people our age or with academics our age, we were probably thinking of Nordic countries, maybe like Finland and Denmark or something like that, right? Whether you remain a constitutional monarchy or you turn to republic. For me, as a 44-year-old, mid-age, I can relate to people who have come before me and people who come after me also. How do we build that kind of consensus with the royal status, the royal positioning, protection of the monarchy as well as protection of freedom of speech? And I felt like there was no other place that is better than the parliament, where there's transparency, there's maturity, and you have to speak with concise matter of time. You have to vote it out, so I cannot just say my views all the time. Some other people might disagree with me, and you're allowed to say it. And if we come to a disagreement, then you vote it out. So I felt like that parliament route was the best way for Thailand. And now that the constitutional court, the verdict says that you cannot amend it inside the parliament, or certain things cannot be said inside the parliament. So I was worried about the narrowing space of discussion with maturity on this kind of topic in a constitutional monarchy like Thailand. So I don't know, I think that that's, the way I sense the question, I think it was directed to that. So I address it like without dodging upfront to you. But if you are asking about freedom of speech in general now, we have to be worried about freedom of speech and deep fake and information operation. How you separate between hate speech and free speech and the artificial intelligence coming in, doing things that never existed in our society before. Scamming operation in Thailand and Myanmar and the Chinese, that's something that once you have social media, once you have free space for you to communicate, that's when deepfake comes in, that's when scammers come in, that's when misinformation operation come in. And that's why even a bank in Kansas went bankrupt because of cryptocurrencies and scammers in Thailand operating across over to in Myanmar, for example. So it's a fine balance thinking about these kind of things, bringing social media ability to communicate across boundaries versus deepfake or AI and misinformation operation. That's something that is of my interest. So that would be my response for the first question. And the second